Says, what's up, everybody? My name is Calvin Wilson, and welcome to another episode of Church Music Talks. I am your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Miss Kenderlyn Turner. What's up? What's up?
Hey, hey,
How's it going?
hey! It's going. It's
Yeah,
going.
it's going. So we both been on vacation,
Yes,
which was
yes.
I can speak for myself and say that it was much needed. Much needed.
Hmm.
It was a very relaxing time. So shout out to vacations.
We need them.
Yes, you do. You absolutely do. I implore and encourage you to take a vacation at some
Hmm.
point. Some point. Let it be more than 3 days as well.
As
Yes,
often as you can, do this
as
in remembrance.
that's it. Absolutely, absolutely. So me and my wife, we went to Puerto Rico, celebrated 1 year wedding anniversary.
Woo, woo, woo,
Um,
woo.
yeah, it went by very quick,
Hmm.
very quick. But as I said earlier today, in church, I'm very grateful at how smoothly it went.
Hmm.
Um, 'Cause I feel like, even now, like we're still trying to figure out routines and really like how to, be married to each other. And so this first year, it went through smoothly. That's the best way that I can describe it. So um yeah, we celebrated big time Puerto Rico. So yeah, let's see what year two got in
Praise
store.
God. Yeah. I mean, y'all starting off going to Puerto Rico, so uh,
So I'm not gonna lie, the bar is up there, right? So
yeah.
again, shout out to her godparents. Again, they're a huge blessing. They sent us to Hawaii for our honeymoon. So like I said, the bar is kind of already up there, right? So
Oh yeah.
then was it we did Hawaii, then I think that November we did Vegas, and so now this year we did Puerto Rico. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do next year, but
Hey.
it's got to be, as Steven would say, match the energy,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, you pray that we got these coins in order. I
You
think
going it's gonna be all right. Yes.
it's gonna be all right. It's gonna
It's
be
gonna
all
be
right.
all right.
And where'd y'all go for vacation?
Oh, we didn't go to Puerto Rico, but we stay in good old my country, tis of thee.
That's it.
Uh, but Puerto Rico is still part of this land. But
Yeah, it's a
uh,
U.S. territory. I think
yeah,
that's what they
yeah,
call it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But we ain't touch over there. But we
that's
just went
funny.
to Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
Uh, me and my tribe of Benjamin, and it was it was all right. Yeah, it was a good vacation. Usually, our family vacations are for the kids, not
Yeah,
necessarily for us.
right.
Me and the hubs will take our vacations at other times, but the
Yeah,
family vacay is usually for the children. And
yeah.
I will say, we all flew.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How was that? How was that experience for them
Well,
flying for the first time?
it was. They loved it. They were so like in awe
Uh
of
huh.
everything. But for those of you who do know and do not know, we have a toddler, and so
Yeah,
uh, she's 17 months, and she let everybody know she was on that plane,
all right. She didn't wanted to introduce herself.
and she did it. Oh
All
yes,
right, all right.
she did
Okay,
it.
all
But
right,
it
Zay.
was also like our going was very early, and then coming home
Yeah.
was past her bedtime. And one thing about our
Mm-hmm.
baby girl, she when she's ready to go to sleep, she's ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
She does not like to be interrupted. So it kind of didn't work out in her favor. So
Yeah.
we'll give her that. But we made it, got
Yeah.
there, had a good time. She enjoyed herself.
I'm sure she
Um,
did.
all the kids enjoyed themselves, and we had a good time. I
Good.
can't say that there's nothing negative about it. So it was
Nice.
just that um, I was tired when I got home. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as we got back from the airport and hopped right, took a shower and hopped right in that bed
hmm we
and
all
got
did.
some sleep.
Yes, we did
Yeah.
the same. I think like I'm maybe I don't know. It took me a little bit to try to recover from it, but
Yeah. No, it
yeah,
I would say like so we got back that Saturday. I didn't go back to work till that Tuesday. Cause I already knew Monday. I'm like, I still just need another day just to not do anything.
yeah,
Um Traveling takes a lot out of you. So yeah.
say so.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get Zelda though because she didn't bring me back nothing from Florida. So next time
Honey.
I see her, I'm gonna fuss her out.
She brought you back somewhere. That good old, that pretty piece of tan. Y'all, you see that
Right.
tan? She brought you back.
I said I want something from the Disney story.
Yes.
Oh man, that is funny. But with it being summertime, um, it's actually convocation season.
Yes.
This is around the time where convocations, conventions, however you call them, are starting up. I know of a
hmm
couple local churches that we fellowship with. They've already had theirs. For those who follow Kojic, they just had one of their biggest ones, AIM convention, and so yeah, we're right around that convocation convention season, and so I just kind of wanted to talk through convocation conventions, our experiences, um, what we know as we called it convention
hmm
at our at our old church, um, and just I don't know, convention. It always had a good a good feel to it, especially when it got really close and you were anticipating it, and it's just like, okay, yeah, convention is about to be here. You about to see all your friends,
hmm
from all the different churches that you fellowship with.
Yeah.
You go shopping.
Yeah.
So for us here, and we're located in Delaware. We're on the East Coast, so I'm not sure if too many people know of this old store, but you would go to Value City.
Hey, we start a campaign to bring it back, but go
That's
ahead.
it. Yeah, go
Yeah.
to Value City, get your extra large suits, your all white suit.
Yeah.
Get your get your Stacy Adam Gators and call it a day.
Yes.
Oh man, but nah, it again it brought back some memories this year and this time around of convention and what it was like, and so kind of just want to talk through that, and then even with some of the things we've seen so far. So I'll start off with what I remember for convention. And again, I was young, so I wasn't playing or anything like that. But um, yeah, no, convention. So for us, it was Monday through Sunday. I know some
hmm
people do it just like Thursday or Friday to Sunday or anything, but we literally had a whole entire week of
hmm
church, nonstop church. And that's not including like your day sessions in the afternoon, you know. Um so yeah, it was literally church for the entire week. And I don't know, it was a fun time. Like you always like, so Monday, of course, you knew it was going to be packed. That's your official night.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
everybody is there for me, my favorite was always, of course, I was a kid, so but Saturday night was always my favorite because that's when we shouted the most, you know. That's when you had like the really, hyped up, preacher come in and they just, tear the house down.
To the house
Um,
there.
yeah, so that was my favorite part of convention, and of course, growing up and everything, starting to play, it was a little bit different because then it's like a different, type of responsibility. It's like, okay, um, some of the musicians, they were playing literally every day,
Every night.
the
Mhm.
entire week. And
Mhm.
so, slowly kind of getting into that, it's just like, ooh, God bless y'all. Because I
Mhm.
mean, the amount of music for 5, 6 different choirs, 5, 6 different praise and worship sets, 5, 6 different preachers potentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, shout out to the musicians at Pentecostal Church of God, under the late Bishop Hasty and Bishop Cooper, because they put in some work.
Yeah.
They put in some major work.
They
But
weren't paid. They weren't paid
oh
either.
no, I mean a nice.
Well, I mean, they did get.
I was gonna say a nice love offering.
Yeah, they got. They thanks to Pastor Lula, the
Yeah,
late Lula Cooper. Um, that was something that was near and dear to her heart. But yeah, they didn't. They weren't on no payroll.
nah, they got a nice love offering. Again, I don't know how much it was or anything like that. But as you stated, one of the late pastors, she made sure they were taken care of, and I'm sure that's something that they appreciate.
Hmm.
Um, so I want you to talk about it because again, uh, you were very much, I'm sure, involved with like the praise and worship sets. So how would you prepare during a convocation or a convention um time? Yeah. And listen, like it's different than what it is now, right? Like, so we didn't have really like design sets or anything like that. Again, our old church, we did the old school for quite a while.
Yep.
Um, 1, 2, people praise team. Maybe on Saturdays when you got a set, but throughout the week
Hmm.
you was doing 1 or 2 people, and that was it. So for that, what was your preparation when convention time would come around? Not just for praise and worship, but like for choirs and everything too.
So you talked about the praise and worship aspect of it. And I guess so because it was a week long thing.
Hmm.
I guess it was a good thing that we didn't have sets because
Yeah.
um I mean something like that's taxing. That was a lot. But then I guess, being spontaneous is not always the
Yeah.
so that also speaks to the caliber of musicians that we had playing for us.
Absolutely.
We would sing songs and pick a key, any key,
Hmm.
and when I say they would get on, find you,
Hmm.
and come right in. So,
I love it.
yeah, so like that, I will say with that we had assigned nights. So because there were more than one or two churches involved,
Yeah.
then they would try to give everybody a chance,
Hmm.
and we're giving everybody a chance. Um, so it may not be you every night, or it might be you like 3 out of the 5, or you might only
Yeah.
have two this week, or whatever. But
Hmm.
what I will say is I loved the choir preparation.
Okay. Yeah.
And depending upon like what the theme was or what they decided to do that year, um, depended upon what happened on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So like you might have a concert Unified concert. So
Yeah.
during the course of the year,
Hmm.
Unified was the choir mixed of all the churches. So
Yeah.
um, our rehearsal times is always like what we will look forward to because they would try to like have them in Philly or in Houston or in Camden.
Yeah.
And so um, just to prepare for, and I'm gonna like say the highlight was like the beginning of when Unified started.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think maybe I was like, oh, 17,
Okay.
18. So that was a while ago. But um, yeah, I just remember like being, rehearsing, looking forward to those rehearsals.
Yeah.
Um, and then we always knew opening night, I think it was always like the general overseer
Hmm.
choir.
Yeah.
So it was usually like choral ensemble.
For ensemble. Yeah.
Um, and so, of course, well, Mike
Hmm.
won't get us prepared, right? So we would
Absolutely.
already be like rehearsing, but sometimes we may not have rehearsed specifically for convention. Like
Hmm.
that choir in itself was always like we may not have sung a song for months, and he
Wow.
go into his book, and if it fit the atmosphere
Yeah.
or the season that we were in, he would pull that song out, and guess what? We would sing it.
Hmm.
And that's like that was how we had a repertoire of songs. So we may not have now he might have picked out songs maybe specifically for that specific time. But it wasn't like all the time that we were just practicing specifically for convention, that particular choir. So then I look forward to hearing like the other choirs that will come.
Hmm.
And then so when you're asking about preparation, um, I think like being in that organization helped us to just be ready all the time
Yeah.
because you never
Hmm.
knew.
Never
You
know. Absolutely.
never know. So like, yeah, that's what when you talk about preparation, unless it was like specifically like the unified choir. One time we had recording during that time.
Hmm.
I will say there's one distinct memory that I have, and one of our fellow brothers um, had some footage of it,
Hmm.
Jamin. But
Yeah.
there's a take me back service that they did during the national convention,
Hmm.
and that's when they went through like decades of
Wow.
like music.
Hmm.
And I love that idea. I love seeing like the older saints who,
Yeah.
well, they would, and they were singing songs from like that era, popular songs from that
I
era.
think I remember him showing us this.
Yeah, it was so cool
Yeah.
because number one, you got to hear from people who you may not hear them like singing anymore, but you knew that
Yeah. It's
times
them.
past that yeah they were the singer, like they were the praise and
Hmm.
worship leader, they were the main leader for the choir, or
Absolutely.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But um I loved going through like the decades. It was
Yeah.
so cool, and they went all the way, I think it was maybe like 70s, 60s,
Wow.
70s era,
Oh,
all the
wow.
way up until I think it was like what 2000s or 90s then. um
Hmm.
and it was really dope. But um that was like the kind of stuff that they used to do on like the Saturday nights for the convention.
Yeah.
We would have the saints from the Bahamas come, from
Hmm.
New York, and so Florida.
Yep.
And so, and they would always be delegated to preach on a specific night. So they would have like a choir. Their choir would come, or their praise and worship team would come, and
Yeah.
it was just good fellowship. But yeah.
Yeah, nah, it like I said, conventions was always a great time. And like I said, with it, being in the summertime, again, my memories, I'm a kid, during this time. And so, I'm out of school, but again, like my friends from, like you said, Philly, all the other churches and stuff like that,
Mm,
coming by. Um, Yeah, it was on point, and then especially, like, when I got older and got, like, the opportunity to, like, start playing, on some nights, it's just like, "Oh, okay, this is a different," it's a different type of feel. I really enjoyed it as far as being able to play with, like, the different musicians from the different churches, right?
Mhm.
So, um like our church, we were the host church, and so a lot of musicians, once I really started, like, of course I played with them, before and prior, so kind of knew what their style and sound was, but being able to play with like the different musicians from like Philly or different ones from Houston and stuff like that. For me, I enjoyed it, because now it's a different, different taste, a different style kind of. Um, and so to me, it was fun. I was more so excited to just be up there. I'm like, hey, I'm up here now, so we're good to go. Um, but yeah, no, again, I'm looking forward to. Uh, I know my dad's talked about it, but whenever
Mhm.
we have another convention, whether or convocation, whether it's just us or we do it with some of the churches we fellowship. I think it'll be fun uh to get back to that and kind of
Yes,
see now like kind of how we would do it. um and that's why
yes.
I think that's one of the things that again I can appreciate now, that I'm in the position where I'm in as far as like with playing and stuff is like, okay, seeing how things were done, like you said, with Uncle Mike and the choirs, like
Mhm.
that to me, that's the mark of a good director and a good choir when you can pull something out, from months, and the choir sings it as if they just rehearsed it last
Yeah,
week.
yeah. I have to say he was masterful at that.
Yeah.
And he was anointed to do that.
Hmm.
Because and he didn't just direct his home church choir.
Mm-mm.
He would do that with the unity choirs. Like
Yep.
I also remember, like, even when we had our local youth convention, like he would he used to direct the combined choir.
Okay.
Um, and this is back when it was like in Houseland every year.
Okay. Yeah.
So like they would do like a combined choir,
Hmm.
or no, state convention. That's what it was, state
Oh, okay.
convention.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
right.
That
Yeah,
yeah, man. That was
yeah,
what, December? Is that
yep.
when we had that?
Yeah. I think it was
It was
around
around
that
like
time.
it was around winter time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I
hmm
complete. So when did Philly have theirs? Was theirs closer to like the spring?
I think
No,
I don't remember, but I do
spring
remember like Pennsylvania
had
this
theirs,
will have theirs. Delaware would have.
Delaware, but
Yeah.
then we also had the youth convention. I think the youth convention was in spring.
Yes.
Oh man, I forgot
Yes.
about all these different conventions.
Yep. That's right.
Man,
So you convention will be in spring, and then we'll have our national in August. And
yeah,
so, but I do want to just acknowledge that part. Like he would Uncle Mike, Deacon Mike
yeah,
would be really um he was good
hmm,
for pulling stuff out of the choir
absolutely,
and directing that choir. I mean, we would sing until the atmosphere would change.
yeah,
I mean, yeah. So like, um, yeah. I just wanted to say that. But you were saying when we start to have our own, you'll be interested to see how that's going to go. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that I know we'll probably do a separate episode on just choirs in general, because I do want to tackle that, um, because back then too, like choirs were more, you know mainstream, if that's the word that I want to use. They were more. uh frontward facing, I guess. I mean, because even like on a national level with like choirs with their recordings and stuff like that. Um and so give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Sorry, my camera went out, but we all right. We still gonna do what we do. but but yeah, no, the I was saying just like the choir in general, like you had mainstream choirs and everything, and so they're just more in the forefront, I guess,
Mhm.
during that time. Versus that's why I said I'm like I'm curious to see how we do things now. So like for example, like I know one of the churches that we're good friends with, um, Cathedral of Love, like they just had their convocation, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't like choir heavy or anything like
Mhm.
that, but like there's well one they're just some singing people in general.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know, um,
yes.
and so just okay, like what would that look like? Would it be more so like a really like um heavy emphasis on making sure like the praise and worship is on point and maybe a choir here and there, or do we do a choir every single night? And so like I said, I'm just curious as to what that would potentially look like
Mhm.
in the future. But I'm looking forward to it whenever it happens.
Whatever happens.
Whenever it happens. But no, like I said, I don't know. I feel like this year I was just like really reminiscing on just
Mhm.
like wow, this is convention. I think was I saw a flyer too for one of the other churches that we would fellowship with. Like they have theirs coming up in August,
Mhm.
and again, just like memories and stuff. It's just like man, like August literally like at least for Delaware, like Southern Delaware, um, that was like the main time
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
convention. And then even some of Maryland too is like the whole month of August. You had ours, and you had another churches that
Right.
they're
Right back to back.
back to back to back, and so August before you go back to school, you about to get your church fixed because like
Yeah.
you got yours, and you got the next churches, and you got the churches after that.
Mhm.
Um, but no, it was great. It was great. Like I said, I've been just thinking back to those times, and it's just like, man, uh, good times, fun times.
Mhm.
You
I'm
know?
telling you though, since we talking about convention, that Kojic, that
Oh
aim,
yeah, yeah,
that singing.
yes. They are in capable hands.
Listen.
Dr. Myron and Kiki, they they got it. They got it over there. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. So you're talking about choirs, but like I will say that's one thing that I do appreciate about Church of God in Christ. They have not let that go.
yeah. Hmm.
They hold on to the church
Yep.
choir, and I love it.
Hmm.
Um, I think that it definitely adds. And I know everybody's not going that way, and that's okay. But for
Yeah.
me, my personal,
Yeah.
I'm speaking for me, Kenderlyn only.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like how can you say convention or convocation without a
Yeah.
choir?
Yeah.
But again, that's just me. Now we know that times are changing, so that's not the majority anymore.
Yeah.
But as for me, uh, if you're gonna talk about convention or convocation, I need to hear a good choir,
Good choir. I need to hear a good sound.
a good sound.
Come on
Yes.
with it.
But I just wanted to, put that little plug in there because
Yeah.
I've been watching some clips and I just really appreciate that choir
Hmm.
sound from the Kubitschek, from the AIM convention. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think our next episode might need to be focused on choirs then.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm I'm very curious to like see like the transition, like I don't know if it was like early 2000s or what, but like you had that shift where it went, from primarily like when you had Hezekiah, James Hall,
Mhm.
um, Mississippi Mass, like you had choirs everywhere, right?
Mhm.
And then there's like the shift. Again, it was good. I think
You
it was
said
great.
early 2000s. You
Was it
think that
early?
shifted?
Was it early 2000s?
Mm-mm.
You think it was earlier than that or later?
Mm-mm.
Later?
Later. Yeah.
When did Ty Tribbett come on the scene? When did like his first album? When that early 2000s? Cuz like
I'm
I'm thinking people like him, um even like Byron Cage, like his first album, um Mary Mary, like when they like really started getting out there.
yeah, but they still what do you mean? That's early 2000s when good choir stuff was still coming out though.
It was
Like
still
they
coming
they
out.
was still yeah. You just named all the ones. Oh yeah. If we do an episode about this, I'm gonna have all of my
Yeah,
facts.
we got to do an
Trust me.
episode on this because I feel like the early 2000s again is when it switched to more of the solo, artists, and you had your team behind
Nope.
you of like six or eight people.
Mm-mm. And I'm saying that you can say that. That's your you can say that.
Some
Uh, I
somebody who
won't
watch
go with.
I was just gonna say somebody who watches this episode, y'all fact check us real quick.
Yeah, you're gonna find that they agree with me.
Oh,
It was a
oh.
little a little further. I think. Now when you say early 2000s, what are you talking about?
I'm like 2002, 2003,
Oh, you way
2004.
early. Nope, too early. Too
No,
early.
that's what I'm saying. I think didn't Ty Tribbett and them come out like early 2000s. I don't think it was like 2010.
Yeah, but even when they came out, um they still had kind of a choir. They were still the mix because remember
Uh,
GA. Yeah, now,
are we classifying them as a choir?
no, I'm not classifying them as a choir. But they were when they came out, when they came onto the scene,
Right.
there was still a good. They were the mix in between the
Okay,
choir
I hear
sound
what you're saying. Yeah,
and the
group for it.
teen group sound. They
Yeah,
didn't start really going that way until the first set of GA split up.
yeah. We got to do an episode on this here. I feel like it was early 2000s is when the shift happened. But I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. Because there were definitely still some very good heavy hitter choirs that were coming out with
Yeah,
popular material.
I'm going to look it up. I guess so. Now that I'm thinking about it, 'cause I think when
Stay right there. Stay with it. Stay with it.
oh, so y'all see we picking sides now. We don't drew a line in the sand. That's all right though. That's all right. I need the audience to come on over to this side here, this side of holiness. Praise God.
uh, whose side? Whose side you leaning on?
Pick the right one now. All right. Oh man.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah. Well, this is what the next episode is going to be about. So for those who are listening, then I need y'all to give y'all input as well too. All right. We're gonna
Take a
settle.
poll.
Yes, we're gonna settle this. So look out for our stuff on our social media and everything, because we gonna get this right. And again, come on over to the Lord's side, right over here. All right. Praise God. But nah, listen, we enjoy you all listening, uh, coming in and hearing what we got to say. Again, this is just a platform where we share our experience with church music. That's really all that this is, and so We would love for y'all to be a part of the conversation as well too. If you got any topics or any subjects that you want us to speak on, send it to us. You can send it to our Instagram page, Church Music Talk. You can send it to our email, churchmusictalks at outlook.com. Yeah, so again, be a part of the conversation. Again, we're going to talk about this whole choir uh, uh, discussion. I was going to say debate, but I'll be nice and say discussion.
You can call it a debate. I'm with that. Listen, I'm gonna get ready.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for this next one because yeah, we already know it was early 2000s. But nevertheless, we'll talk about it when the time comes. But yes, be on the lookout. We'll be back back again with another episode of Church Music Talks. Again, I'm your host Calvin Wilson and my co-host Miss Kenderlyn Turner. We will see y'all next time. Peace.